morning and welcome to episode 126 of Cover 2 Cook. We have college football as we had our week 0 appetizer week. We have NFL as all those players that were in college football last year are trying to make squads in the NFL. We'll kind of give you a recap of this final weekend of preseason football, and also Cowboys find a way to get themselves in the news every day. Micah Parsons hits big news of falling asleep, apparently. So we have NFL and college football news to get on. Let's get it started.
Yeah. I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Socks.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm getting Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
All right. Welcome back to Cover 2 Cook. Let's get right into it. We have a lot to talk about, starting off with college football. How emotional was this Lee Corso video, Anthony?
Oh, yeah. That was crazy, emotion. Obviously, it showed his time through all these players, coaches, saying what he means to College Game Day. As a player that did play in college football, like, every Saturday, you just watched College Game Day. You watched to see who he picked. So you saw all these players, but then he got into the Pat McAfee and the Desmond Howard and the host, and then Kirk Herbstreit. Holy shit. I mean, and then after Kirk, I think it was his daughters and his, his wife and all that. That was absolutely so sad. The thing that he's given to it, there's nobody that's going to be like Lee Corso ever again. And the reason I say this is because College Game Days went to a new platform, a new atmosphere of how good they are. Lee Corso is a day one. Day one made that what it is. Super sad to see him leave, but hey, go enjoy retirement, old man. Go enjoy and watch a game on Saturday. Don't have to feel like you have to travel for it.
Yeah, definitely. Tim, what are your thoughts?
The one thing that stood out to me on that deal was that the head mascot, the Buckeye the head, almost didn't happen. They asked because since Herbstreit's wife was with the cheerleading group, they went through her first, and they said absolutely not.
Yeah,
we are not giving you the head. So they had to go to the AD and say, hey, we want to do this. Well, yeah, no problem. And so that that was one of the things that kind of just stood out, is like that thing almost didn't happen. Yeah. And that's what he's known for. That is what he's known for all these years that they've done it. He started back in the 90s with this, and I was shocked on that one, that I didn't know that almost didn't happen. It is going to be sad. I'm glad that he's ending where he started. So, yeah. It is going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of emotion on that show next Saturday. I'm waiting to watch it. And it's going to be, because, he's an icon. He's been doing it for over, almost 30 years. So, it's going to be sad.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a nice full circle moment for him to have that. And definitely, and just from what I've seen from the video and previous things, Kirk is going to be so emotional.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But, I watched that first thing yesterday morning, and I was, crying already. I'm like, what a way to start my day. Geez.
Yep. No, totally agree.
Okay, well, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about week 0. Okay, what were our thoughts about 2 takeaways? Give me 2 takeaways about the game in Ireland. What were you thinking, Anthony?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway was, obviously, you could say weather, but I'm going to say Iowa State had 5 less penalties. Week 1 has sloppy football. Penalties are going to kill you or allow you to win games week 0, week 1. And then the other thing was Iowa State went 3 for 3, while Kansas State went 1 for 4 on fourth down efficiency. Outside of that, the stat lines looked pretty similar on, obviously Kansas State threw the ball more than Iowa State, but otherwise they had a lot of the similar stats. These are the ones that stick out. That's week 0 for you right here. It is just a scrum to find out what your team's about. Fourth down efficiency and penalties is going to be the decider in week 0, week 1 games.
All right, all right. Tim, did you see the same or something different?
No, I thought it was sloppy play at the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy muffs the punt, so Iowa State gets down there and they're about ready to score. Then they fumble the ball.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god! And it was just like back and forth. The weather conditions I think were a big key too as well. I think they couldn't stretch the ball, but then they still. I think the biggest one is that the last 3 drives they scored touchdown. I mean they got right back in the game. I thought they were going to run away from them from Kansas State, but Kansas State kind of let them keep playing with them, and then they finally took over at the end. And I thought for sure it got to be 2:20 to go, and they were only up 3, and I'm like,
Yep.
they're going to go down. Avery Johnson's going to go down there and score, and they did. And their defense stood up, and their running attack also stood up. So I thought it was a good game.
Yeah.
And do we think that like week 0, I mean, just across the board, is a way for the teams to like work out their kinks beforehand? Like it's the draft before, right?
Yeah.
Is that kind of mentality?
It is, but the problem is when you take this big of a game, week 0, you can't really afford to be sloppy. I mean, now Kansas State's behind the 8 ball on this. Yeah. They were predicted to win the Big 12. So now they have to win out or do really well and hope that Iowa State loses. So even though you're trying to find your problems, every game matters when it comes to college football.
That's a fair point. I didn't think of it that way. Okay. Well, what else happened in week 0? Let's see. Tim, did any other teams pop up on your radar?
I like to come back from Hawaii. They came back and won late. Their quarterback took a hell of a. I was watching Uptown, and the quarterback just got bent back, and his knees. I thought, he's done. He ACL, but he got into the medical tent, started running around, and he came back out the next series. So I was kind of. And another thing too is when he got hurt, they brought in the backup. Usually on that kind of stuff, they'll just run the ball and get out and save another. He's throwing the ball down the field. It was like, gee, Whitakers. It was like 4th or 3rd and 14. And usually you just do a run play and, let's get out and we'll do something the next series. No, he's throwing the ball down the field. Like he was going to be playing from now on. But they incomplete. But yeah, I think that was the big one on what I see.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna take your shot, take it.
Yeah.
Be a starter, be it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
Anthony, what else caught your eye this week?
Yeah, I think Kansas, the Jalen Daniels, no relation to Jaden Daniels in the NFL, but looked pretty good against Fresno State. I think Kansas is a team that could make a run in the Big 12, obviously, and with seeing Iowa State play and Kansas State play, you kind of see now Kansas where they fare in this whole thing. Unfortunately, the Big 12, you just don't know what team you're getting which week, and then also you just don't know what this team even means until about three quarters of the season in, because they're just so like a roller coaster. So Kansas looked good this week. I'll let you know how they look next week. So,
Anthony, did you see the quarterback for Fresno State who was quarterbacking for Fresno State?
I did not.
E.J. Warner. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah. I don't know how, but yeah.
It's Kurt Warner's kid.
Oh, yes. Yep.
I didn't know that either, that he had a kid old enough to be playing at college, D1 ball. But yeah, he was, and he looked all right. I mean, he wasn't, he's not like his dad yet, but yeah, I couldn't believe that even the telecast that Tim Brando said that this, E.J. Warner, and then he was saying that it was his dad. So,
well, and you got to think Kurt Warner's not a typical story anyways. I mean, It wasn't like he was a great D1 athlete and went to the NFL. Like, he had to work his way around, so might help a little bit when dad's the Kurt Warner like that.
Yeah.
Any perk you can get, just big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, I guess since we talked about the recap, let's talk about our betting results. Anthony, how'd you do?
I did not actually bet. But would have went 0 for 1. I thought the UNLV game was a lock. Idaho State got a little ballers, huh? They only make it, I think it was a 7-point game to end the. So yeah, that one didn't look good, but I think I'll just stick to Tim's going forward. We'll let Tim have the betting segment.
Well, I appreciate that too.
Yeah.
Tim,
and I did good. I had the Iowa State. by a smidge, and that's
Yep.
what it was. They were getting 3, and they ended up winning by 3. So yeah, that was starting out good. And that looks good for me for my pick this year of Iowa State in the Big 12. So that was even a double win yesterday. So
Oh yeah,
Yep.
so you expected them to beat Kansas State.
yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we will talk more about week 1 upcoming this week on future episodes, but let's transition into NFL. Tim, how did Dylan Gabriel do this week for the NFL?
He did good. I mean, he's. I think he's the second. I think he's the backup. I really do. With Pickett not knowing what you're going to get with Pickett, and they know Flacco's going to be their starter. I think he outshined Shadur, and Shadur did not look good.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think he's the backup. I really do.
Really?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
I think Shadur did too much again. Like, this is what we saw at Colorado. Now we're seeing it in the NFL. It's why he was a 5th round draft pick. Is he just doesn't know when that clock in his head to throw the ball away. He thinks something's just going to happen. It's like Madden. I'll take the sack because it's just Madden. It's a video game. And
Right.
he held on to it for 5 sacks. And then when you get pulled in the last 2 minutes of a game, like when the game's on the line, yeah, bud, they don't have much confidence in you,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah, definitely. You got to have that, I can put the team on my back mentality.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, then you're not the right guy for it, for sure. Well, I also saw this. This was intense. What was happening with Shiloh getting into basically a fight on the field? Anthony, talk me through that.
Yeah, obviously just getting blocked, and I didn't think it was aggressive. I think you could have thrown penalties for both teams or nothing at that time until he swings at him. Always the last person gets caught. It didn't make sense. Now, I do laugh because people are like, oh, his position's now at stake. His position was at stake before that game even started. I think this is honestly the nail in the coffin if the Buccaneers are like, hey, we don't want to be about the flash anymore of the Sanders and all that crap. We don't want to put ourselves in through the media. I think they get rid of him. But if he stays on the team, it's the Buccaneers saying, hey, we like that publicity. Whether it's good or bad, we'll take it when we can get it. Yeah, I don't think it mattered what he did in this game. It was going to be a cut or not. It's what the team wants for their future.
Now, Tim, let me ask you this. Do you think the Bills are typically the team to have like a flashy player like that?
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
Oh, sorry, Buccaneers. My apologies.
Not really. I think they're pretty. Their coach, and his name escapes me. He's pretty buttoned up. He don't put up with that kind of stuff. And I like to say, I think I'm not surprised he wasn't cut after the game. I'm surprised he didn't cut him like a Jimmy Johnson. Just cut him right then and there.
Yeah.
Because there's just no place for that in the football, in the NFL. And he's not gonna. This coach is not gonna put up with it, and they're not gonna. They'll cut him. He'll be done.
I just thought it was poor sportsmanship. I mean, all around. Like,
Yeah, okay. Hold on. Relax. What? You guys on a Sunday morning sitting here.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm only looking at a small.
I'd give him a bus ticket back. I think that might have been a home game.
Time out. Lisa, you played college sports. How competitive you are. I live with you on a daily basis. I know how competitive you are. This happens in the NFL. I'm not saying that if this is Darrelle Revis during Revis Island time, and he gets think about Chase Norman, think about all these other players that would get thrown out of a game for punching, Michael Crabtree, all these players, but their talent could back it up. That's the problem with this whole thing with Shiloh, is his talent can't back it up. So when you get thrown out of a game, you look like an idiot. Yep. Now, if he's shutting down the number 1 wide receiver 3 out of the next 4 games, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but if he was on top of his game, he wouldn't be doing that last bit of, like that's
you're young. Saying. You're young to the football life, okay? You're young to it. This happens all the time. Like I just Richard Sherman, I can go name you 100 DBs that like just ran their mouth and they got into fist fights on the field. Right. And I mean, well, think about the not Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson and that Finnegan or whatever. Throwing punches. It happens. Right. Yeah. It's just he's not the guy to do that. You're not the guy. So
no.
Yeah. Well, my last point about this is like, what is a punch gonna do if you're wearing full pads and a helmet? But
we've all said that.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about Ooh, how many times did Jalen Milroe get up from the ground this week? Anthony, what the heck?
Yeah, this might have been Jalen Milroe's welcome to the NFL moment. 5 sacks against the Packers. Now, Packers did have better players playing, obviously, as like the 2s and 3s. The Seahawks, and this was just hey, let's get the rookie a little time. Takes a lot of sacks. It happens. I will say I don't think this has any indication of what the Seahawks are going to be this year or the Packers are going to be. I just think this was one of those games where, hey, Rook, have fun.
Yeah.
Like, if you do really well, we're going to look at you different. But we expect you not to. And you didn't do bad, just a lot of sacks. A lot of sacks.
I can only imagine how hard that is getting up, but welcome to the game. Tim, Did you have any other takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, also, too, he fumbled the ball a couple times, which gives the Packers excellent field position. That last one, I mean, he just kept turning the ball over. And it's like, and he was going to play the whole game no matter what. So that this was a throwaway game pretty much for Seattle. They knew that they were going to, so, but yeah, it's like I was watching it and it was like, next thing you know, it was 17-0. I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I turned it off. I was like, because it wasn't much of a game. So, the Packers did play some of their, that Malik Willis, God, he's got a hell of an arm.
Yeah.
He threw the balls, I think, to Dobbs or one of them. Oh, no, it was Golden. Matthew Golden. That was a dime. And Golden just kind of stopped a little bit and then came back to it. It was a dime. And it was like, good God. That Golden, I think, is going to be good for them. Really good for Love.
I definitely agree. And obviously, it would go just cinematic that they have the draft. They finally draft a player that they would never draft in the past drafts. But I think his speed. Just when you have all these other young Romeo Dobbs and you have the other wide receivers that can stretch it already, and then you get his speed in there, I just don't understand why the backup for Packers doesn't look elsewhere. Like, I know he's got a little opportunities to play. Malik I think it was the Tennessee Titans.
Yes.
He played for a little bit. But when I say he's top 32, I don't know. His arm and he did well when Love was out last year. He kept him in a lot of games. I just think he's a hell of a backup to be sitting there as a backup, and he ain't gonna play.
But I think it's the system. I really do, because he's stuck to Tennessee, and now he's here in Green Bay, and he looks like a totally different person. I think it's the system. He found the right system for him. They found the right system for him. Well, he's really shining.
He was young in Tennessee, so I feel like maybe growing up a little bit, because he came from the AFL or the. Right? Didn't he come from Arena or not Arena? But,
no.
XFL.
He came from, I think, Ole Miss, and Ole Miss drafted, or Tennessee drafted him from Ole Miss, I think.
See, I thought
he didn't come from.
I thought he went and played XFL before coming to.
I don't think so. So.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought he played for like the Birmingham, the Red team or whatever. But besides the thought, it's Jordan Love's team, so to see the guy play like this, it's like. If Jordan Love goes down, which he did last year, they played pretty well. So it's a hell of
and they've got a hell of a running attack with Jacobs and Wilson.
Yeah.
And they even brought in the third stringer, and he was tearing it up too. Yeah. Of course, that's preseason, but still, they've got a pretty good running attack. They're going to be pretty good this year. I think they're going to give a lot of in that NFC North. They're going to give everybody in that division a time. So
if they stay healthy, I think they're the likely winners.
Right.
All right. Well, then let's move on to our next rookie quarterback, Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard had a pretty good show to this weekend. Tim, what did you think about when you saw him?
Yeah, I think he's going to be good. I don't know. I'm still skeptical because he can't throw the ball down the field. He can only throw it about 20 yards. If you're expecting a late heave at the end of the game, he's not your guy. I'm telling you that right now. But I think with their option and stuff like that, that Shane Steichen wants to run, he could possibly, be the. Is he going to pass Anthony Richardson? I don't know. I really don't know. I think they really like Richardson more than they would Leonard. But he could go somewhere else and maybe. But I just don't think his arm strength is enough to be not a starter. Definitely not a starter. Maybe a backup for a couple weeks, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's that type of quarterback to run it to keep it safe. The opposite of. Anthony, did you feel the same way or some way different?
I kind of feel a little different. I think the Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones has obviously taken the Colts news cycle. And then you have a person like Riley Leonard that goes 15 for 20, scores a touchdown. looks pretty decent. So I think Anthony Richardson's out after the comments that the agent made and that Anthony Richardson's kind of made. They're going to have to get that toxicity out. Well, then you have a good backup there with Riley Leonard. I think that's exactly where he feels. I just think Riley Leonard would be a better backup if Anthony Richardson was a starter because they kind of match the same flow of being able to throw the ball. And Anthony Richardson has a huge arm, so that's the biggest difference. But the way they could take off and run. And I don't think Daniel Jones has that as much. He wants to sit in the pocket, throw the ball around. Riley Leonard isn't. Maybe he gets a couple packages of running the ball. We saw it at Notre Dame for multiple games. He can run the damn ball, so get him in some way. But good showing from a Notre Dame alumni.
I would agree. I thought you'd like that. Well, and I had to make sure I read this correctly, so bear with me. But did Micah Parkinson's fall asleep? What is that about? Anthony, what?
Okay, well, I'm going to start out with this. Michael Parsons. I know you're still new. I'm going to let you, not Parkins. But Parsons. You said Parkins. And
sorry.
I was like, no, Parsons. Michael Parsons, this whole falling asleep shit. Jerry Jones, like, we got to get this over with. This is causing too much shit. I don't know if there's a dollar amount you could give me to be the Cowboys coach. I truly can't. Like, the amount of bullshit you got to deal with just because of, like, the circus that this whole thing is. Micah Parsons obviously goes and lays down. So before the game even starts, gets in there and is eating nachos. And one of the Atlanta Falcons fans goes, "Come to Atlanta." And he puts up the,
I've seen that.
"Call me." And it's like, okay, like, I get it. You're frustrated. Fans are getting frustrated. And then during the preseason game, obviously he's not playing. He goes and lays on the athletic trainer's table and, like, closes his eyes. Okay. Blown way out of proportion, like he fell asleep. He obviously laid down. But again, why is this even, like, why are we adding fuel to the fire? Jerry Jones, end this shit. So now the coach has to go meet with him to make sure, hey, man, we're okay, right?
Right.
It's all about money. And from what I'm hearing, he got everything that, the money-wise, the agent tells him to shove it up his ass to Jerry Jones, which I don't know how you do that to Jerry Jones. That man scares the shit out of me. And to tell him to shove it up his... But I don't know what's holding it, and if it's getting this bad, I do feel like it may be more realistic that a trade might be on the table.
Okay. All right. Tim, any specific thoughts from you?
That's this. I mean, he was probably just resting his eyes. I have a hot take on this.
Oh, let's hear
and
it.
See what you think. Is he on the plane Thursday night or when they traveled to Philadelphia?
Yes.
I don't think he is. I think this is so far down the rabbit hole. I don't think he is. I think you're close. What you just said about trade, I think you're closer to that than him being signed. I think there's too much out of the bridge for him to move on. I think there's a trade involved, but I don't think he's on the airplane going to Philadelphia for that week 1 on Thursday night. I don't.
I know, and honestly, I'm watching ESPN. I'm watching all these people talk, NFL Live, and every reporter that comes on goes, they're not talking. Like, Parsons. Now you got me thinking about his last name.
Parkins.
Parsons and the Cowboys organization are not talking.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you hear that, then you hear it again. It's like, for some reason, I can't grasp, but they're not talking. Like, this always just feels like week 1, we come. And I think one of them, I don't know, the reporter said when Dak got signed, they were talking before week 1.
Right. Yes.
They were like, and he was practicing. Right. This is not practicing. This is, and I think you might have been right from the start. I truly believe that this is a little bit farther separated, like a Trey Hendrickson thing, than everyone wants to kind of leave it on for.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he flies with the team. I really don't.
I don't know why, but it's just.
But, you know, with Dak, they signed like what did they sign, like 24 hours for their first game?
Yeah.
So I mean, this could happen, but I don't think so. I think there's too much has gone on so far.
Yeah,
and if that's true about the agent telling him to shove it up his ass, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
This is way.
Yeah, you just don't disrespect Jerry Jones like that.
No.
Jerry Jones will take a lot of shit, and he'll do what is best for the Cowboys.
Right.
But, like, I just, when you're telling an older generation to shove it up their ass, man, it just hits a little different.
Yeah,
If, you know,
they don't forget.
yeah, like they take words a little bit more personal, I feel like, than
Right.
like the younger generation does. But yeah, that's not really good. At the same time, too, I don't know why I can't grasp that question. No, he's gonna be on the plane. Like, why wouldn't he? And it's like,
Right.
guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of fuel being added to the fire, so I wouldn't be surprised if something set it off completely. So that's touchy waters for sure. Well, the last thing I wanted to bring up, and Anthony, I feel like this might be your hot take, is Brian Robinson Jr. getting traded to the 49ers for a draft pick. What were you thinking when you saw that?
Yeah, I mean, immediately, like, I thought Brian Robinson Jr. was not going to get traded. The likeliness of it happening, I didn't think it was very likely. And then you see he does get traded. But to the 49ers? Like, you got Christian McCaffrey. You guys went out and released running backs because I think George Mason went to the Minnesota Vikings. Like
Jordan Mason, yeah.
Yeah, you went and let people go, and then now you're making a trade for Brian Robinson Jr.? Well, the only thing that makes me feel like is Christian McCaffrey is not ready.
Right.
Because there's no way that you bring in that guy that wants the ball, wants the carries, want all that, if you got McCaffrey. So now going into fantasy drafting, I know you got yours today. I got mine next week.
Yeah.
I'm not touching McCaffrey because that makes me now question everything with this trade. And if it is McCaffrey's all fine, that's a hell of a 1-2 punch.
Yeah,
definitely. That makes me curious too, but I don't think we've even heard anything on Christian recently. So being in the quiet's probably not in the best interest here. Tim, what did you think when you saw that?
I think it's an insurance policy for CMC. It is an insurance policy. I think he's, in case he gets hurt, because he is prone to get hurt. I think that's an insurance policy that San Francisco picked up, and that's a hell of an insurance policy. Brian Robinson, that's a hell of an insurance policy. But I agree with you. I think there's something going on in the camp that he's hurt or there's something going on. And I wasn't going to touch CMC anyway in my fantasy football draft this year. No way. He gets hurt too often. And I've had it before, and he does good for 6-7 weeks, and then he gets hurt. So then you're going to pick a number one pick out of that to pick him? No, man. I but yeah, I think he's an insurance policy for that team. So yeah, I think it's a hell of an insurance policy because I don't think they give him too much. They didn't give up too much for him.
It's like a 6th round draft pick. And when these trades go by, I swear every time we talk about this, you just wonder what the hell Minnesota or in your situation, Denver.
Yeah.
You're telling me they were going to give up a 6th round draft pick and we took George Mason from 49? I want
Jordan, not the university.
I'll take any Mason in the goddamn world over. Like, what are we talking about? Like, Brian Robinson Jr. is out there for 6th round draft picks, and I always wondered that. I also think at the same time, like, keeping him in the NFC. Like, AFC, I'll give him up for a 6th round, but NFC, I don't know. This trade just feels weird. It also feels weird for the Commanders. Like, why? Why are we? What was it, over money? Because if it's over money, 49ers are not paying him. So, like,
they're getting too much.
Yeah, they have. You're on the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, right.
So,
all right. Well, we'll have to see how this plays out because next week is week 1. So very exciting times.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, because this upcoming week we have week 1 of college football, which holy shit we have coming up, and then we have week 1 of NFL after that. So a week after.
Right.
Oh, 2 weeks of college. My apologies.
Yes. Yep.
All right. Well, then there's some very exciting times ahead of us. Anthony, will you close us out?
Yes, obviously, like Lisa just said, week 1 of college football, we have big games. I mean, top 10 talks. We're going to talk about this upcoming week of what these results are going to be for these teams if they lose, what teams benefit if they win, things like that. And then as well, NFL. We're kind of creeping now to see who some of these players make these teams. We brought up today Shiloh and Shadur. Both Sanders boys could be cut from the teams as of next week. That is obviously top news we got to talk about. But we'll talk NFL, but college football right now is king. I hope you got to enjoy this weekend of watching it. We'll come back this upcoming week talking more about it. But if you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all those as well. You can like us on YouTube. When the episodes drop, you're able to be the first ones to watch it. We want to thank everyone. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday.